With the upcoming release of Alejandro Monteverde's stunning film Zero AD, it's time to discuss the best quote-unquote Christian movies. I'm a Christian filmmaker, and the truth is, for the longest time, Christian movies have not been good. Recognizable for poor production quality and cringy writing. Most of the time they mean well, but are not made well. There are a few reasons why they're mostly not good. 1. The film industry is very ungodly, so no one wanted to invest in or work on quote-unquote Christian productions, meaning that amateurs who don't know what they're doing have to produce them. 2. They can't work out how to develop a quality story that also aligns with the gospel, so the script ends up being an unnatural sounding, forced, poor attempt at preaching the gospel. 3. Not being creative. Film is art, and art exists so that we can glorify the beauty of creation. But these filmmakers don't show any artistic taste, and they make something dull. We follow the greatest storyteller of all time, so we need to aspire to greater quality, not these embarrassing examples. But now, this is all changing. In the last few years, we have seen a massive wave around the world in success of faith-based film. Now we are seeing movies and TV shows that mean well and are made well. Filmmakers have figured out how to turn them into good art, and they're only getting bigger. Companies like Amazon and Lionsgate are willing to invest in them. God is taking back territory in this industry. So here are some of the best Christian movies. And this is only movies, so phenomenal shows like The Chosen and House of David are not included. In the time when faith-based film was basically nothing, The Passion of the Christ was a diamond in the rough. Directed by Mel Gibson, The Passion of the Christ depicts the last 12 hours of Jesus' life leading up to the crucifixion. Now this is one of the boldest movies of all time. It's not just a showcase of the event, it is a powerful visual depiction of good versus evil. This movie is very gory. Mel Gibson made the Roman scourging and crucifixion as historically accurate as possible to show Jesus' love for us. Jim Caviezel gave an amazing performance as Jesus, and he physically copped it all on that shoot. This movie faced so much resistance from the world, but it went on to become the highest grossing independent movie of all time and was nominated for 3 Oscars. And next year we're getting the sequel, The Resurrection of the Christ. Directed by John Irwin and Brent McCorkle, Jesus Revolution tells the true story of Greg Laurie and the spiritual movement that happened in California in the 70s. Firstly, I'll say this film is shot beautifully. It has a nice 70s filmic look, and as a period piece it's well constructed. In 2 hours, this movie manages to cover a lot of time and a lot of people in this massive movement. The standout performance comes from Jonathan Roumie as Lonnie Frisbee. From the character relationships to the people being born again, Jesus Revolution is so powerful and shows that everyone is welcome in the family of Christ. Now this script is full of gospel preaching, but it's not forced or unnatural or cheesy. I love this movie more every time I see it. Kingdom Story Company are killing it with everything they're doing. Now I'm going to be honest, I hate musicals, but when Journey to Bethlehem came out, I was oddly struck by it. Director Adam Anders wanted to make a movie for families everywhere that is about the true meaning of Christmas. He wanted it to be like a storybook Bible come to life. For those reasons, it's the most creative biblical movie ever, but it's so faithful to the nativity story. It's not cheesy either, it just focuses on telling this story in a fun way. And the songs are just awesome, I've listened to them a million times. Fiona Palomo and Milo Manheim are delightful as a young Mary and Joseph, falling in love and taking on this heavy burden. And casting Antonio Banderas as Herod was genius. Journey to Bethlehem brings so much light to the world. One of the most monumental successes of 2023 was Sound of Freedom. Because this movie exposes a very real issue that needs to be stopped, the world did everything it could to destroy this movie. But praise God that it succeeded. This is the true story of Tim Ballard, played by Jim Caviezel, who goes on a mission to save children from trafficking. Director Alejandro Monteverde made a very effective thriller with strong emotion and great cinematography, and Jim Caviezel is exceptional in it. This movie is completely driven by the principles of the gospel, but barely mentions it. It is a very dark, hard watch, but it's worth it. You really need to see it. Angel Studios do such great work. Sound of Freedom is not just a movie, it's a mission.
Because God's children are not for sale.
Rarely have I found a movie as intriguing as The Shift. This is a sci-fi multiverse movie inspired by the Book of Job. Kevin finds himself in a dystopian world and is confronted by a mysterious stranger at every turn as he fights to return to his wife. I've become obsessed with this movie. Director Brock Heasley had such a detailed vision for this story. He wanted to do what has never been done before and combine sci-fi and faith and make an adult movie that is not inappropriate. There are so many details you won't pick up on the first time, and even though it's a multiverse movie, it feels very grounded. I love how in the multiverse there is only one God. Neil McDonough gives his best performance as the benefactor. The Shift proves that you don't need a big budget to do sci-fi right. Again, I hate musicals, but The Prince of Egypt is the only other one that I can stand. This is an adaptation of the life of Moses from the Book of Exodus. The story of Moses is the ultimate hero's journey, so it makes for an epic movie, especially since it's animated. We don't get great animation like this anymore. Despite being a musical, it is very accurate, but takes creative liberties to make for better drama. What's impressive about The Prince of Egypt is that it came out at a time when faith-based film was nothing, and it was very successful and is widely regarded by secular audiences as one of DreamWorks' best movies. One of the most powerful dramas I've ever seen is I Still Believe. Directors John Irwin and Andrew Irwin launched Kingdom Story Company with this movie. This is the true story of singer Jeremy Camp falling in love with his wife Melissa, but they go through a great hardship. Now, it's very hard for me to like romantic movies, but this succeeded. What I love about this movie is how beautifully it's shot. Kiwi KJ Apa is a strong lead and has believable chemistry with Britt Robertson. It actually takes a little while before you recognize this as a Christian movie. It's very well balanced and gives a powerful reminder that suffering doesn't destroy faith, it refines it. I Still Believe is one of many examples that the Irwin brothers are great filmmakers. Who doesn't love a good Christmas movie? The best Christmas pageant ever, based on the popular book, is one of the best. This is a quality and just delightful family comedy about the worst kids in the world joining the Christmas play at the local church, which just might lead to everyone learning the true meaning of Christmas. Director Dallas Jenkins had been so passionately wanting to make the best Christmas pageant ever for 15 years, and his passion and care shows. Now, this story is very faith-based, but it somehow manages to not feel overt, and it feels like a traditional Christmas movie that you grew up watching, except that Santa Claus is nowhere in sight. The cast all have such energy and the production design pops. Dallas Jenkins is an amazing filmmaker. Another powerful true story is Ordinary Angels, directed by John Gunn. I went into this movie blind and really felt how real and emotional this story is. A struggling hairdresser finds a renewed sense of purpose in helping a widowed father care for his critically ill daughter. Alan Ritchson plays completely against his type here, but he's great, so is Hilary Swank. Since it's by Kingdom Story Company, it's very well produced, but what's different about Ordinary Angels is that for majority of the runtime, you likely won't even recognize it as a Christian film. It's extremely balanced and shows how anyone, regardless of their background, can be a miracle in your life. Mel Gibson directed not only one of the best war movies, but also one of the best faith movies in Hacksaw Ridge. Some don't consider this a Christian movie, but I don't see how it's not. This is the true story of Desmond Doss, who was guided by his faith in World War II, and despite being persecuted, stood up for what he believes in. What's nice about the movie's structure is that the first half is a love story, and then the second half is the war, where it gets gory, as expected from Mel Gibson. And the performances are all around great, from Teresa Palmer, Sam Worthington, Hugo Weaving, and I think this is Andrew Garfield's best work. The most impressive thing about Hacksaw Ridge is how it shows the gospel through a character's actions. Actions speak louder than words. This is a must-see. So those are some of the best Christian movies. Now here are a few honorable mentions. Ben-Hur is a really long epic, but it's really worth seeing. It was a big cinematic achievement at the time. Soul Surfer tells the inspiring true story of Bethany Hamilton. I've always found it to be a very pleasant drama. American Underdog is another true story directed by the Irwin brothers. It's some of Zachary Levi's best work. I know that the Kendrick brothers movies are not great art, but I'm mentioning Courageous because it's one that has impacted me. With God taking back territory in the film industry, it's so exciting to see what the future has in store. I want to hear what your favourite Christian movies are, and are there any other great examples of faith-based film that I missed? Let me know in the comments below, and may the Force be with you.